It is December 2nd, 3029. The fifth week of Operation Bronze Medal. A Draconis Combine attack on the world of Corodan 4 in order to extract precious information about their water salinization plant. Or desalinization, whichever. The Lyran forces, after laying fallow for another week, have decided to make another assault. Dadgum. Another assault. And it's Firebrand Lance that must bear the brunt. They are sending in a mixed force of mechs and vehicles in order to assault the position that's held by the Draconis Combine. However, at the same time, Big Sky Lance, under the command of Sassy, sees an opportunity to strike at a weakened enemy force. By making a hit and run against a vehicle convoy, she can potentially throw their whole force into disarray, and perhaps put them on the wrong foot once again. Simultaneously, Firebrand Lance, under the command of Junior Grade Lieutenant Sheila Salami, Happy, will have to try to hold against this force coming from the Lyran Commonwealth. I picked a song that's slightly too long for this one. So, man, it just, yeah, okay, enough of that. That one didn't work out so well. Let's just, maybe, you know what, no, fuck it, do it live. What the hell do I care about production value on this? Nobody's watching these anyway. So, what we have this time is two missions that are going on at the same time. One with Firebrand Lance, who I'm much happier about the position that they're in, but it does irritate me that they keep getting picked for fights. I mean, you know, you should have an equal chance for Central to get picked. It makes sense that Big Sky has a lot more encounters. Scout Lances are supposed to receive more encounters. They're just supposed to be lighter ones. It's just whenever I field Firebrand Lance, it always seems like the enemy tends to pick on him. Well, I guess they didn't last time we had an encounter. Whatever. Point is, the enemy that we're facing, though, isn't too scary. A Crusader is a heavy mech, sure, but we've got one of those ourselves in the Lance. Phoenix Hawk is a medium mech, and Locust and Javelins are both light mechs, and the Locusts are the ones that we know and laugh at. The rest of the vehicles that they're fielding are pretty medium ones, or light. Skulker is, we've seen that before, he's just got machine guns. The Prowler has a mix of stuff, but nothing too scary. Vedettes are capable of doing some damage just because they keep getting super, it's either luck or the fact that they actually have some skilled crews, and I just keep underestimating them, that let those Vedettes keep doing significant damage because they just plink away with those AC5s over time, although the more skilled one is just packing an AC2. Not much to worry about there. We do have a Saladin that's going to pack an AC20. We've got a Harasser missile platform that's going to be slightly annoying. That's a hover tank that's got an LRM, which means that it doesn't even have to get close. So we'll have to kind of chase that down. And Firebrand Lance is a bit lacking in long-range punch. The Grasshopper helps with that slightly because it's very maneuverable and has a large laser. But otherwise, we're kind of slow and kind of have difficulty at longer range because most of our stuff is medium. Now, the real kicker is their reinforcements. 4 Stingers. Now, I'm not scared of Stingers. In fact, I kind of laugh at these reinforcements. But in addition to laughing at them, I also ponder on them, because those Stingers are worth a lot more than those Saladins, Harassers, Vedettes, whatever. Oh, and also there's a Hetzer in there, AC-20. Don't get close to it. We don't have to worry about allies getting close to it. We can avoid its gun ourselves. We kind of fucked up on that once last time at that trench warfare, but, we kind of had to push on them at some point. Point is, if we hold out, wait for those reinforcements to come, because we do get to dictate this since we don't have any allies that we're trying to protect, we can wait for those Stingers to come in and take home a slightly better salvage on this one. I was tempted to try to screw my ally out of salvage, but since the Lyrans have been so keen on throwing mechs at us, and especially good mechs, I decided to go ahead and just kind of leave it at normal percentages so that we didn't potentially screw ourselves on being over percentage and then not being able to pick up, say, this Crusader here. So we're going to go ahead and try to take out the Crusader. The Phoenix Hawk is an okay if we get it. Probably, I don't know if I'm going to field it. Phoenix Hawks are good for filling some gaps in certain squads, but I'm picking up heavier and heavier stuff. Most of my uh, most of my company is now at 50 tons or heavier. So a 54 or a 45 ton like the Phoenix Hawk, it's a well balanced mech. I won't denigrate it. It's definitely better than some 45 ton than some 50 tons I could mention. But I don't know. Maybe, maybe. In any case, it's worth good money. Now we do have to consider the other one because we do have lots of tactical options for where to send reinforcements this time. And this other one seems kind of like a cakewalk. J. Edgar Light, Condor Heavy hover tanks, nothing too scary there. Scorpion, Vidette, Galleon, Vidette. Maxim Heavy Hover Transport is actually nothing to worry about too much, despite its name, because it spends an awful lot of its tonnage on being able to carry troops that it can't carry. Vidette. A Saladin, this is really the only thing that kind of worries me. And a Vidette. We can mop up a fourth of these guys easy. Easy, with what we have in Big Sky Lance. This one, a little harder. Not impossible, but just a little harder. So what I'd probably say is that we focus our attempts on getting reinforcements here. I don't actually think if I got an infantry thing this time, I would take it, because both of these feel like pretty good missions. I'm gonna roll it anyway, just for the record. So for the record, would our infantry have been able to recon us out of one of these missions? No. So, no worries there. I do want to reinforce this with all the reinforcement I have, which is pretty much Central Lance and potentially Avenger Lance. So, Central Lance needs a 6, as always, to show up. Did that take? I can never quite tell. I'm going to err on the side of not cheating and say that that took and it just rolled a 1 again. So, Central Lance can't show up. Can we break through air cover and manage to get our air cav on site? They need a 5 or a 6. Hmm. I'm gonna also assume that that rolled another 1 in a row, which may not bode well for. Hang on, folks. I'm gonna just. Okay, yeah, no, it's totally working. It's just, yeah, didn't roll so hot on that. But no, Firebrand Lance has taken this on their own, but I'm pretty sure that they can handle this. Mostly what we'd need to focus on is getting the Grasshopper and Crusader to focus down that enemy Crusader initially. Uh, See if we can't take that home. If that's not an option, well, this is one of those missions where we have to destroy 50% of the enemy forces and keep more than 50% of ours. If the Crusader makes itself difficult, rather than put myself in a position where I could potentially get too greedy and blow up because of it, I'm probably going to say that since we didn't get any reinforcements and we lose this mission if we lose 2 people, which if we lose 2 of these mechs, it would be sad, very sad. Um, I'm gonna instead probably, unless that Crusader just kind of goes out of his way to make himself an easy target, I'll pass on him and instead just focus on knocking out. Let's see here, they've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Seeing if I can't knock out 6 of their stuff right off the bat. See if I can't maybe include a Locust or a Javelin in that mix, but it's probably going to be mostly vehicles. And see if we can't nuke them before their reinforcements arrive. But I don't know. If their reinforcements arrive, I won't be too put out. As for what we're fighting, Light Urban, Town Ruin. We had this map last time, in fact. Daylight and Light Snowfall. Light Snowfall doesn't interfere with us, as I recall. The Light Urban works just fine for me. I'm mostly a medium-ranged mech, so I prefer fighting in close quarters, or mostly medium lances. Enemies are starting east. We're starting west, I'll bet. We are defending, so we might even be starting center. You know what? Since we are defending this area, this is probably the same light urban ruin that we managed to take earlier, and just don't mind the fact that we moved all the buildings around. Lear, the Draconis can be super picky like that. In any case, let's get on the ground and see how well we can handle this mission. It wouldn't be too bad to take on those stingers. I mean, oh, actually, one of them's a spider. Spider's still a light mech. It's a light mech that actually might have a large laser, if I remember correctly. Let me take a look. Let me take a looky look. So, yeah, Prowler, Vidette, Locust, Javelin, Crusader. This is the Crusader that's got machine guns, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much a similar loadout to ours, except that it's the one that we started with. LRM-15s, machine guns, medium lasers, way more explosive, very bad heat management. That's why I refitted it. Spider, pair of medium lasers. Yeah, it's a 30 ton, not a 20. Slightly tougher than the rest of these guys, but nothing really to fret about. So, yeah, we're starting west, they're starting east. Let's get on the ground and see if we can't outjuke these suckers, especially because we have Master Sergeant Numair Saeed, we have Dizzy, who is going to be helping us with severe tactical advantage. Let's get on the ground. Yeah, now the tactical advantage doesn't count for deployment, but, you know, that doesn't matter so much. We've got this nice block of buildings in the center. Pina colada flavored, man. What would I do without it? Saladin and Hetzer starting over here. Here's the AC-20s I'm worried about. VDET AC-2 up here. I'm not worried about that. And they also deployed their Locust up there. General thinking, general thinking is we kind of deploy up here. There's some cover from trees that's going to kind of protect us as we're coming in. But I want to sort of err on the side of engaging these guys first and requiring these guys to come up on me. Then again, no, that's kind of what I'm on the air on because, well, okay, rethinking that. If I make a beeline to engage the AC-20s first, I can focus fire on them and try to knock them out. Whereas if I just let them come in later, I may already be engaged with someone and have to take shots that aren't focused on taking those guys out. So, slight change of plans. Although one other thing to think about is that this is a minefield of rubble. On the other hand, what I can totally do, for the Crusader, I can put it front and center, designed to go through this clear area, and then I can kind of stack two other mechs behind the Crusader to go through that center area as well. And the last mech that wouldn't be able to, I can put my Grasshopper like here, and Dizzy can manage to get through this either via jump jets or just because he's a boss pilot. Either way would work. So we take this, we run down here, try to get range on these Hetzers and whatnot, especially with the large laser that's mounted on the Grasshopper, and just try to zap these guys out of commission before they can really close on us heavily. That Saladin will probably rush forward, and then we can get shots on him and knock him out first. So yeah, deploying there. Next up, we have the Centurion. Centurion is just as fast as the Crusader, so we'll put it... Let's see here. The Dervish is slightly faster than either of them. So if I put that kind of here, he would end up in front. So by putting him here, he just kind of has to continue in the conga. Grasshopper, put sort of over here. That way he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see here. If he went like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he would be front and center. And actually, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he'd be competing for space with this one. But that may not be so bad. He is the heaviest mech on the field here. They've deployed an extra VDET this way, but most of their mechs and stuff they're deploying up here. And lastly, we've got the Dervish that I am deploying here. Alright. An enemy Stinger rolled well enough to be competitive with us, but otherwise, they can go suck a big toad. The only thing that's going to move that's on the field is a VDET, and it moves after 2 of my moves. So, let's see how we do. Now, they did... Well, you know what I was talking about with if they just throw the Crusader at us? They kind of did that. They kind of threw that Crusader at us. Now, just a quick check on our Crusader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Running up to there, which is exactly as far as the Dervish could run. I don't actually want the Dervish to be out front. So we'll move him up 5 because that'll pretty much create the conga of all of these guys. Conga. Conga. And last dude in the conga. Whether we have any shots is going to be completely up to just luck at this time. Not going to have anything on the mediums. We do have some LRM-10 shots that we could take. Oh wait, no, we totally don't. We have no such LRM-10 shots that we can take. They are beyond even that range. We can see them. But this means that they won't be able to peg our lightest mech with LRMs either. Centurion has LRM-10s that would be able to hit this Locust if we could see him, but we can't. And his large laser is not going to be in range either. Crusader has LRM-10s that are in the same boat. The enemy pretty much stopped short of our ability to engage them. But I know one thing that will be able to. Ha ha ha! An LRM-5! This is going to do so much damage. Definitely hit. I mean, it's a chance to hit. We won't be shooting that. It's a chance to hit. It's a side shot. We could knock it out. It's all going to depend on luck. But at this point, I'm not overly concerned. They probably will be able to take some return shots with an AC2. AC2's, oh well, maybe not. Oh right, this thing's packing an AC5. And if I remember correctly, yeah, we are outside even AC5 range. So, just at this point, we'll take the shots that we have and not lament the ones we don't. And see where they end up. We missed. Whatever. This was a closing turn. We didn't gain any heat we didn't need to, we just gained some distance that we wanted. Now we've totally Rochambeaued them on initiative. Let's see your moves, Lyrans. We're sort of engaging out in the open, but fortunately the enemies look like they're kind of erring on the side of not wanting to expose most of their force to our fire, which is mildly admirable, but at the same time kind of gives me the initiative. The big one out front is this Saladin, and here is his max range. Now, the sad thing is that his max range on those on that AC-20 is also the max range for a lot of the weaponry that we're packing. These guys, the Crusader in particular, well, it's got those LRM-10s. Those could do something, but the Grasshopper's mostly armed with medium lasers. The Crusader's mostly got medium lasers and SRMs. The Centurion has medium lasers, well, and also a large laser, so that's something. The Dervish is mostly medium ranged, but it's also got LRMs. You know what? We do have LRM range on these guys. Let's stay out of here. This, I'm going to do this thing again, is the Maginot line. And once again, I do not want to cross it. I want to stay outside of that Saladine's range. So, with that in mind, where can I put this grasshopper so that I'm out of its range, but have it in my large... now, this move right here does a body good, because that's going to be within my large laser's medium, and is going to be within my LRM's medium, and with the accurate shots that I can get on him, it's worth it to run and get mediums than to walk and have larges. So, or have long range shots. So, we'll take that. The Crusader will be able to take shots back at us with his LRM-15s, but as long as we're kind of crowded up in this area, that's about all that we'll be able to take back on us. Don't think I can quite get this guy into medium range with this with the Centurion, unless... No, not even there. So if we just push forward 4, not moving as fast, but, well, actually, let's keep moving slightly fast, even though it's going to mess up our shot. I want to move slightly faster so that I can make sure that I get the difficulty to hit bonus. I've never really laid out what exactly those are, have I? Well, let me refer to my handy-dandy chart real quick, and I will tell you. So, if we've moved 0 to 2 hexes, no modifier. If we move 3 to 4, +1, 5 to 6, +2, 7 to 9, +3, and then you get difficulty moving this far, because only like jump jets, or only like hover tanks or really light mechs can get these, because the next bracket is 10 to 17 at a +4, and then there's 8 to 24, and you can only really get like 8 to 24 and then 25 plus if you've got Aeronautica, because just ain't nothing got an engine that strong. Well, that's not necessarily true. There is some shit that some gene mutated motherfuckers will have, but I'm not talking about them right now. In any case, this will put us into a position where we'll be able to get decent LRM shots and not great large lasers, but it moves us fast, so we're not an obvious target for that Crusaders, for the Crusaders lights, for the Crusaders LRMs. That said, if we did stop back here, this VDET can't see us, and it can out here. Is one less shot worth slightly easier to hit? You know what? I'm actually going to say, take the gamble that this is the better move. Now, for the Dervish, we're mostly just relying on its LRM-10s. And we can get into medium range with the LRM-10s by just taking a 4 move, so let's do that. And the Crusader, we're also just looking at LRM-10s. Give me damage high to low. Wish I could set that as like default. Maybe I can somewhere. I would not mind putting out in VDET range, but then again, I also would not mind just kind of putting her out to get closer in general, so that enemies prefer her, if that's going to be even close enough to matter. But the most important thing, well, honestly, better option is just kind of to set up for a close and a turn, so that we can sort of be on an interception arc for most of the enemy forces. So, let's take shots. Even moving as fast as this Saladin did, it managed to get that plus, it's got +2, and it's at +2 from range. We still got pretty excellent shots thanks to Saeed, being just a boss at gunnery. So we can take a pretty decent large laser shot. We could also take this one, but I want to focus down one of these AC-20s at a time. And then this LRM-5 just as likely to hit. Can't get any mediums on target, though. Not even going to worry about it. Same thing with the Centurion. Give me high to low. We can put a large laser on it. Not a great shot, but may as well. And we can put a much better LRM on it. And that's going to be about it. My Dervish is just going to be able to put LRMs on it. And, not awful ones. It's a 1 in 4 chance. Between the two of these, a hit should happen. And any hit that happens has a chance of proccing damage. And lastly, the Crusader, also give me high to low, please, is going to be relying on LRM 10s. That's slightly less accurate because I ran with her, but I wanted to put her closer, so, now I reap the rewards of having done so. So a lot of fire going down on that guy. Let's see how it works. Well, looking ahead, it worked pretty well, but we put some zaps on, we put a LRM 15 on it with, oh wait, no. Crusader took an LRM 15 at my Grasshopper, decided to take on him. 2 clusters hit right at the center torso, putting some damage on that to start with, but it's still holding it pretty heavily. LRM 15 missed. AC 5 at my Crusader missed. Grasshopper missed both his shots, unfortunately, but the Centurion did manage to land an LRM 10. And like I said, any LRM 10 that lands is going to have a chance to do some mode assistive damage. So we halved its movement, stunned its crew. Then the Dervish managed to slam in again. And in fact, since most of those hit on its left side, well, okay, we did 1 on its left side, and then 5 on its left side, 5 on its left side, really lightly armored the Saladin. We managed to destroy it. So that's 1 AC-20 out of the fight. And that's 1 out of 6 that we need to eliminate. Centurion rolled pretty shit, but that just means that a Locust and a Prowler get to move after. We still get to see the most important things, which is right now that Crusader and that the Crusader and the Hetzer. So show me your moves. So that thing's destroyed. Most of them are just kind of clustering in cover. The Hetzer is out in the open, but someone who also put himself out in the open is this Phoenix Hawk. And that's a bold move by him, because he's kind of moved into ass-kicking range of my Grasshopper. He's a medium, but he's not a super heavy medium. He can get his ass kicked by me. Just take a look at his armor. He's got 15 armor on his leg. Respectable certainly. But my Grasshopper at its 70 is kicking for 14s. I might be able to rush up on this sucker and just sort of beat his ass red. In fact, I'm wondering if I may just try a maneuver that I haven't done as much. Because I can't remember what all goes into it, called a mech charge, where you just sort of bum rush a guy. And if you hit him, I'd knock him into this building and potentially do a lot more damage to him. I'll have to think that one through. For right now, it's my Centurion's turn. And my Centurion has 1 primary objective. Don't enter the Maginot Line 2. And do enter a range where your large laser and your LRMs can get shots on that target. So in fact, specifically there, gets within medium range, so that's pretty ideal. Prowler can see him, but not super concerned about that. Crusader can see him, but, well, okay. That also would be within range of most of the Crusader's weapons, because the Crusader is packing a large number of long-range weapons. Now, wouldn't have great shots against me, but I'm going to err on the side of not putting my lightest mechs into that hurt zone. I will move the Crusader up into that, especially if I can get them a good maneuvering that's going to put some speed on. But I think I'll just keep my lighter mechs out of that line of fire. Locust is moving up, making himself a target. It's going to be kind of a toss-up between whether I target the Locust or the Hetzer, since I do know that the Hetzer is not going to do anything this turn. So, if you... Oh. Oh. So, Death from Above is another one. If this guy was maybe more of a shit pilot, because right now I think that that guy's a 4. So, 2 hit is not super great. 58%, mostly just because that guy moved so much. He moved 5 to 6 hexes, which turns that from the 5 it could have been into a 7. And also he jumped, so that's another one. So because he jumped, me trying to jump on him, very difficult. Now, I would do about 21 damage using the punch table. One nice thing about the punch table is it has about a 1 in 6 chance to hit the head, but then I would take damage using the kick table. So, not using a death from above, but instead there is a charge. That's still going to have difficulty hitting just because of how much he jumped and shit. So no, I think the better option, we just walk up on him, we zap the ever-loving bejesus out of him, and then we kick him right in the crotch. Think you can handle that, Dizzy? That sounds like a thing you can handle, Dizzy. Now, I was looking maybe more for like a move like this. Yeah. A move like that moves 4 hexes, that's at least the +1 penalty. You've got the Crusader in your medium, and the Crusader has you in your medium. But that means also you've got, or in their long, but you could also focus fire on that Locust and just kind of give it a bad day. Alternatively, if we're just focused on giving that Locust a bad day, 3 also gives the same penalty, will also put you into the same range of that Crusader, but you only walked, and you're still outside the AC 20 line. And you could really put some nasty ass razzle dazzle right on top of that Locust. That's the move I think I'm going to take. And I think because of this Locust just sort of darting out close, it's going to be mod 3. I'll have to check what my actual numbers will be, but that Locust may have made itself a prime target. And then we'll move up alongside the Centurion with this, with the Dervish that has bow in it. I'm learning these guys' names. So let's look at our numbers. Locust is a real hard shot, no matter how you push it for the Centurion, just because it moved so damn fast. The Hetzer, an easier shot, but because I kind of erred on the side of not being in the range of the Crusader, my shots aren't great. Best shots I actually have seem to be on the Crusader, but the shots that I land just aren't going to do much. I think I'm going to go ahead and take my shots with the Centurion on the Hetzer. Any shot I do land has a potential of knocking it straight out of the fight. So if we give it the large laser and the LRM-10, LRM-10's got a much better chance of hitting. That's good. Could we then secondary target? No, we totally can't. So we'll just leave it at that. Over here, even though this guy jump jetted and jump jetted far, he's just not much of a match for my ability to zap like crazy. So damage high to low. Yeah, I think I calculated this out lots of times back in the previous campaign. But that's 8, 11, 14, 17, 20. With 22, we are so heat neutral, it's fucking tasty. Just fucking lay into him, and anything that's left over we kick. In fact, you could even twist and maybe take a shot on this guy, but that seems a little unnecessary, to be completely honest with you. I think I'll just deal with that. Hell, you could. And every LRM5 we dump out of your tubes is one less explosion, potentially. Yeah, just do it. Get rid of it. I should really start dumping ammo that I don't... Well, I don't know. I sometimes need it. Anyway, point is, over here, that locust, man. That locust. Making itself a difficult target. We can give it a weight of fire, but none of the stuff that we can throw will have a particularly good chance of landing. But we'll have just as likely as shots on anything else. The only other option we could have is if we ignore it and take our LRM-10s downrange on that Hetzer, which has a much better chance of landing. Then again, we could take our LRM-10s, that'll bring us up to 9, and the medium lasers still have a chance to hit. So, let me think about that one a moment. Yeah, yeah. I think that the best thing to do is going to be to toss the LRM-10s out against the Hetzer. Foosh, foosh. We'll put medium lasers on this guy. Zap, zap. They're not likely to hit, but we lose nothing by taking that shot because of how heat efficient this model of the Crusader is, the 2K. So may as well roll for it. 2% happen with alarming frequency to me, so they should happen with alarming frequency to the bots, right? Right? Dervish is probably going to be in the same boat. It does actually have the best shots that we have against that Locust because of getting a perfect band in its LRM-10 range. Those shots are even better against the Hetzer, but I'm gonna count on you being pretty much my best chance at actually putting some damage on that little bastard. So give him the LRM-10 fooshes, but nothing else is going to even have a chance to hit. So done there? Yeah, done there. How do we do? Crusader fires medium and LRM-15s at my Crusader and misses. F you. Phoenix Hawk is going to put some hurt on my Grasshopper because I made it kind of easy on it. Then again, it did roll several 8s in a row. 8s are, well, they're roughly a 40% chance to hit, so that's not too exciting that it got that many hits off of it. It did roll 5 and 3 hit, so that's about statistically average. Centurion misses its zap on the Hetzer, but does manage to pop it with 6 missiles, so it takes a little damage on its front arc. It's got 30, a slab of 30 on the front of it. Prowler has lots of weapons that it fires at pretty long range, and all of them miss at my Crusader. Locust is taking shots at my Crusader and actually manages to land a single SRM-2 on my center torso. My Grasshopper misses with its biggest punch of damage, sadly, but lands its medium laser, lands a medium laser on the guy's head. Phoenix Hawks are, they're, one big problem, they don't fully armor their head. They've only got 6 armor there. So that zap leaves him with 1 armor remaining and a, razzle-dazzled pilot. And manages to land another one to his left torso. None of those hit the legs, unfortunately, for my follow-up, but we have created kind of a weak spot on his left torso. Crusader. Excellent work, Happy. You managed to get a through armor critical with one of your LRM-10s on their Hetzer, popping its sensors, which is going to fuck with its shooting, and popping it in the treads for a -1 MP, so it's going to be slow. Good work, good work. And the rest of our shots against the Locust miss. Sad, sad. But we did do some pretty good work, and here comes the payoff here. F your leg, son. It crunches our leg a bit. We've got 9 remaining. He's got 1 on his left leg. Both of us succeed our piloting by pretty comfortable margins. This guy is a pretty good pilot. He's got a 4 piloting. He's not as good as me, but he's pretty good. And we remain pretty heat neutral, whereas the enemy Crusader and enemy Phoenix Hawk are just completely fucking themselves. That Phoenix Hawk is going to have a difficult time getting away. I mean, he's going to jump jet, but he won't be able to do anything after that. Kind of shit roll. No, actually, just kind of amazing rolls on the enemies. 3 12s? 3 12s. 3 12s. I need a little calculator. I can put right here. Do some calculations on how unlikely some of these rolls are. You know, if I played this game for how long, for how many different rolls, how many times would I see 3 12s in a row versus how many times I actually see 3 12s? Anyways, so, but the things that are moving are a Vidette, the Javelin, and unfucking fortunately the Hetzer. That's going to fuck with me. That is 100% going to fuck with me, because now I don't really know exactly where to put my Centurion in order to deny that Hetzer a shot. I'm going to have to kind of overcompensate with that, because I'm not going to lie, I'm afraid of an AC-20. AC-20s hurt, and a bad AC-20 right on your noggin can kill you, straight out. Just no save. So, I don't want to fuck with an AC-20 if I don't have to. It's one of the most dangerous weapons in the game because of that. Locust made an interesting move. Phoenix Hawk stayed right where he was. That's also an interesting move. Alright, so, Hetzer's over here. I can't really get far enough to comfortably be able to say Hetzer can't catch me. It's got movement maximum 5 right now if it goes full out, and the only thing it would be able to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it can only move 4 max anyway. If I back up 4, I was out of its range previously, so if I back up 4, it can't put me in its range whatsoever. In fact, if I back up 3, I can do that. Now, sadly, I can't reliably back up 3 because of these heavy woods, but I might be able to back up 3 like this. And that should hopefully, well, that's actually not backing up 3. That is in fact backing up only 2 because of how weapon things works. Although that would be at his peak weapon if he just came straight on at me. This should be out of his range. So I'm going to just err on the side of not having to fuck with an AC-20. My Crusader can take an AC-20 over most of its body. Just not necessarily on the head. But we should have edge on Happy to help prevent that. It's not a guarantee, but help prevent that. So alternatively, I could dedicate Happy to doing something like, say, trying to come up to catch this Locust, and that also would get me out of Hetzer range. It means I'm kind of letting these guys tank the Crusader for this turn, but this means that I'm putting myself in a position where I can put a Crusader kick on that Locust and a Grasshopper kick on that Locust, and either one should be enough to take it down. Either that or I can kind of spread between the Locust and the Phoenix Hawk. I'm going to say that that's a safe move. Hetzer does look like it kind of choked, if I'm being honest. Its weapon system, it can't see us, it can't hit the Dervish, so yeah, it could not quite putter far enough along. My Grasshopper has a lot of options. By this method, I could move 2. And that's not enough for making it harder to hit me. But this guy has already made it harder to hit me for himself by how much heat he gained. If I stayed parked, they are pretty likely to shoot my grasshopper, but my grasshopper's got pretty good armor except on that leg where he took a hit. Let's see here, 45, 5 by 5, 9. So he must have taken a couple extra shots on the leg too to be able to be that low, but that's just some bad stacking. Another kick to that leg from the Phoenix Hawk is not too scary, but if they somehow manage to air only on the side of the leg, that would not be great. I'm not gonna lie. So I could reposition like this. Say, please focus on my left, not my right. That's going to give me some penalties to hit, but his penalties are going to be worse. The only other thing I could do is, well, since I'm being at a -2 penalty for running like that anyway, a better thing to do, weird as it sounds, because of the fact that I've got jumping jack on Saeed here, a jump jet makes it just generally harder to hit you, and so this is going to generally make me harder to hit while not making my attempt to hit him any worse. I'm going to leave the Crusader to deal with that Locust. I'm focusing on this Phoenix Hawk. That's how things are going right now. The Dervish, I want you to keep putting shots on that Hetzer while staying out of its range. The Hetzer's new Maginot line is right on you, so you can't move up on it. But feel free to move back a bit so that you can be outside of the Crusaders, which you just need to get to about here. So, if you back up like so, you move 4 squares, which is good for a penalty, and you're still in the mediums on that Hetzer, although you can't actually see him from here. Can you see him from here? Yes. So that's where you have to move, I'm afraid. That's still 3, so that's still the penalty. So for you, twist and put shots downrange on that Hetzer. Still not likely shots, but, you know, shots nonetheless. We're just trying to take out that Hetzer so that it's less of a problem in the future. When I take out that AC-20, I feel so much more comfortable about how I can engage these guys. Over here, the Crusader. Now, I don't want to use my SRMs because I want to use a kick. So instead, I'm just restricting myself to my medium lasers. My LRM-10s definitely won't hit. So, although actually, quick check, will my medium lasers hit? This fucker moved a lot. They have a potential to. Alternatively, I could lay more hurt on this Phoenix Hawk and potentially help finish it off. That, I think, is the better move. We zap down the Phoenix Hawk and rely on the leg kick for the Grasshopper. 11s for LRM-10s. Well, you won't be overheating, so just try it. Try it. So that's left arm, right arm, left arm, right arm. Won't punch, can kick. Meanwhile, over here, you've actually got pretty good shots on that Locust anyway, but our current target is this fucker because 90% chance to hit. That sounds good to me. And you should still be able to do that and still only gain 2 heat. So, yeah, and I won't bother firing the LRM-5. This time it would actually hurt us with heat gain. So, meanwhile over here, LRM-10's downrange on Hetzer is what we want. Fire and fire. You could put some medium lasers downrange over here, turns out. Do you have the heat for it? You'd gain 2. It's not really worth it. You'd gain 1. That might be more worth it. I mean, any of those SRM shots we can get out is also good. Let's go ahead. Take that shot. Just why not? Alright, so Prowler fires us with an LRM-10, misses. Phoenix Hawk continues to kind of take some good shots on my Grasshopper, but misses most of his. He couldn't take a lot. He actually did take a lot for how much heat he's at. He's gained 6 more heat, and he's already over by 10. He's going to still be up 6. Uh, Crusader, LRM-15 misses. Locust takes some shot at my Grasshopper as well. Pops it with a couple of missiles. Our Centurion lands another shot on the Hetzer's front. Its front is buckling slowly. It's down to 10 armor there. Uh, our Crusader takes shots at the Phoenix Hawk, lands a medium laser, actually lands one of those unlikely LRM-10s, and pops some extra damage off of his left arm and right leg. Right leg is important because then we can kick and be into criticals on it. So now both of his legs are primed for kicking. Enemy Javelin misses its SRM-6s. Good. Our Grasshopper missed his large laser again. Are you sure you got that thing dialed in right? That was a 90% chance to hit, man. I'm not liking that distribution. Not gonna lie, 90%, you should have hit. I mean, maybe one of those missing would have been acceptable, but two? I don't know, man. I don't think that you're really into it. But hits on left torso, hits on right arm. Right arm is exposed, left arm. Softening him up, but not really any damage in the places that I wanted. More shots on that Hetzer. It's down to 5, then 2 armor on its front. One more good shot should take it the fuck out. Phoenix Hawk manages to succeed at staying up, but here comes the kick. So we've got a difficult kick because of how fast this guy moved, but we should be able to recover. We have good piloting. A not difficult at all kick. We should absolutely make this. So, Phoenix Hawk kicks our Grasshopper right in that right leg. They've been focus firing on that, so it's now exposed. That's not a great situation to be in. The Locust missed. Ha ha ha. Our Crusader hits the Locust, 13 damage to the left leg, popping it off. Critical hit on heatsink and whatnot, damage to the left torso. He's out a leg, he's down on the ground. Grasshopper kicks that Phoenix Hawk in his left leg, the one that had been exposed. It's destroyed. So that's 2 legged mechs. Now, they're not completely out of the fight, but they are legged. They're going to stay kind of where they are. And now I can jump jet with the Locust to go take a look at other places. Take care of other enemies. We managed to stay up on getting kicked. Locust cast a fall, falls over, takes a hit on his pilot, falls over, takes a hit on his pilot. They're getting softened up, and they're going to spend their next turns trying to stand up, and probably failing at it. So, works for me. Damn! That Hetzer's cheating! Ref! Over here. Look at this. This Hetzer's cheating. He's got loaded fucking dice. I'm not getting anywhere close to his AC 20. Not with cheating rolls like that. Well, okay. We get to see most of their movement, and their movement does tell me that this guy managed to knock himself the fuck out. This guy just couldn't go anywhere. Now, we're getting a little surrounded here. That's not hot. Boy, I would really love to jump on that Hetzer with my Grasshopper, but that's just not an option because of his cheatiness. So the Hetzer is still at 3-6. He could still move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and kind of look down this corridor that's not hot. But that corridor shouldn't be able to spot something like here. So, I could take my Crusader, kind of move up in here, and still be able to get shots sort of at this Javelin back. And I'd be able to jump my grasshopper over here and get direct shots on javelin back. And that sounds pretty good to me. Jump. The Hetzer just pretty much turned in place. He cannot see anything and also presented his side to us. Now, he might have done that because his side is technically more armored than his front right now, but side shots mean better crit chances. So the Maginot line this time is this Crusader. I want to stay away from it as much as possible. For these guys, I've just been kind of, keeping them out of trouble. It works. It works. If the enemy can't close on you, can't get good shots on you, and you can keep outpacing them, you can eventually whittle them down. Right now, I'm just kind of trying to get this Crusader to overextend himself so that then I can get my Grasshopper up on his butt and start laying into him. Right now, we're still only down one vehicle out of the 6 that we need to take out. We've immobilized these guys, but they're still on the field, so we got to keep that in mind as well. For right now, all I want you to do, Dervish, I want you to just kind of pull straight back. Once again, check your weapon range for those LRM-10s. You won't be able to take shots at the Dervish this time. There's pretty much not much I can do about that without kind of getting you safe. Although on the other hand, can you see the... No. Okay, so the only way to get shots on you would be definitely to be within that Crusader's range, and I just don't want to do that. So we'll back up hard with you. May just back up fucking hard with you. And we'll take shots on either this Javelin or this Prowler with your missiles. For you, his SRM-6s, you just need to get one back, but unfortunately you can't back up into forests. What you can do, though, is just walk into the forest and then turn to a position where you'll be able to take shots. That's going to fuck with your movement. You're going to take some missile fire, but the heavy woods should provide you with some cover. Over here, plan was to essentially move into this position and then turn so that we could get good shots on the back of that Javelin, maybe even at that Crusader. That said, do I really need to turn the full way for that? If I were here, torso twist this way. Yeah, I kind of think I do in order to be able to take shots on the Javelin. So, turn hard, turn Sten hard. That said, I know where the Hetzer is now. I don't have to freak out about him. I could just do something like this. Yeah, no matter where I go in this little block, that Crusader's going to see me, but if I were to move here, he'd have trouble getting shots on me. But I would have trouble getting shots on him, and what would be the point? Can't quite do anything as bold as just rushing up on this guy. I could just stand still and endure what this Crusader's got, but it really doesn't sound like a wise idea to me. I think instead, best option I can do right now, we just back up a couple spaces. That will keep that Javelin inside my short range, 1, 2, 3, but put me at the medium range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of this guy. And hopefully that means that he'll prefer to take shots on my Crusader rather than taking missile shots on my Centurion. Yeah, I think I'll take it that way. Boop. Locust tried to get up, fell over. The other guy, I guess, didn't even bother. So, shots that I'm taking, I could try to head cap this Locust, but that's just mean. Although, he's not down for the count. He can get up. I'll probably just step on him. That should finalize him just as well. We have been building up heat a little bit. we're at 5 heat built up, so maybe we just need to not fire one of our medium lasers. And with this many zaps at that kind of accuracy, this javelin might already be fucking toast. I'd be super happy if he was. Let's try that. Over here, the dervish has LRM 10s. He can pop that on this guy and do some stripping, or on this guy and potentially do some crit procking. I don't want to ignore the vehicles. The vehicles are what I need to take out in order to win this. So let's keep our mediums focusing on taking out vehicles. So another pair of LRMs downrange. And the Centurion is going to keep up the fire of large laser and LRMs. Both at that Prowler, just to, well, actually, hang on, back things up, back it up, back it up. You've still got shots on that Hetzer. Not a great shot with your large laser, but an okay shot with your LRM-10. You try to finish that guy up. Shots on his side, are going to be going against his mostly unaffected side armor, but if we track him, that's just as good as destroying him. Meanwhile, over here, my plan was to fuck up this javelin, and I really don't see any reason to deviate from that. I'm not going to kick him this turn, so we'll focus on giving him some medium and SRM and SRM, and honestly, that should be pretty good. If this guy's not toast from shooting alone, I'm going to be a bit surprised, but I've seen weirder things. So, enemy javelin taking shots at my Crusader, manages to land both of his SRM-6s, which plinks some damage all around. Total of 4 missiles, 8, 16 damage. That's actually pretty significant, but it's spread out all over my mech, so slightly less of a concern. Another fucking through armor critical, god damn it, but thankfully Edge blocked it, but that means that our Edge is used up for this match. So we take just some 2 damage to the leg. Enemy Crusader is taking shots at my Crusader. Manages to get some laser shots on. Alright, Grasshopper already rendered that guy totally toast. Oh, that reminds me. I should take a quick note about who downed what. Let's see here. Dizzy and the Grasshopper was responsible for legging the Phoenix Hawk. And Happy in her Crusader kicked the leg off of that, what was it? Stinger? I'll double check that. I think it was a Stinger. Anyway, Happy also finishes off this Javelin by just completely nuking its center torso. The extra shots that we took it were unnecessary, but, we've cored it out. It's on the ground, and one less enemy to deal with. Our Dervish, managed to pop the Prowler in its left side for some motive system damage, dealing -1 movement point, so it's a little slower. Centurion missed both his shots on the Hetzer, sadly. And our Crusader, well, we didn't need these shots on the Javelin, thankfully. And she did manage to pilot. She was kind of shaken up by all the damage that's coming in. So even though she missed all of her 50% shots, 58%, which I'm angry about, I'm glad she made the check that mattered. And she was just kind of being rocked. Her world was being rocked. So that's another 1 down. And just in order to make this a little faster, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot a little on salvage, and just try to destroy an arm on this guy to make sure that if he wakes up, he doesn't just keep trying to stand up. Alright, shot myself in the foot a little, destroyed its center torso, but it's down, it's out. So our current count is now... Now, unfortunately, our current count didn't come fast enough. It's round 6, and the enemy reinforcements will be showing up. And there they are, just a bunch of stingers and a spider. Okay, so we are down one, two, three one, two, three of the enemies. Two of them being light mechs, one of them being a Saladin. This guy is still having trouble getting up. Fuck him. We now need to. We are currently kind of protected from most of the enemy's vehicles here because of the cover from this town. I am super happy about that. So we can kind of do what I was hoping to do and focus down on this Crusader. By just sort of taking a lazy turn in, we can get a bunch of back shots on this Crusader. Oh, pardon me. Bunch of back shots on this Crusader and then kick its legs out. And then for our Crusader, we can get along its side. It's going to have some good shots on me, but I'm going to have leg kicks and good shots on him. So I am okay with this, and most of these guys aren't going to really contribute to this fight. The Hetzer continued to say, I don't really want any part in getting shot at. The only thing this Prowler really has to throw at us from its current position is an LRM-10, and if it just focuses that on me, I'd be super happy. So in that case, I think I'll leave the Centurion parked and take some extra accurate, and take some extra accurate large laser, medium laser shots on that Hetzer. The other thing I could do is sort of close up so that I've got a better large laser shot on it. Because it is pointing this way, it's not going to be able to hit anything, and I'm well outside the range bands for any of these lights that are coming in. So what I could do, if I were a smart man, he said, realizing that that wasn't going to work at all. My plan was to kind of back through this set it up so that I could back up through this rough terrain. Although actually, I don't think you can back up through rough terrain either now that I think about it. So that was just stupid in general. This will get me into that Prowler's range with its medium range, I think. The Crusader shouldn't take shots at my Centurion because it should have more important things to worry about. So I think that that will give me a good chance to actually start finalizing this Hetzer. And on the same note, since that Crusader should have better shots to worry about this turn, I can close back up on that Hetzer and take some good LRM-10 shots at it with my Dervish as well. And if it continues pointing its left side at me, denying itself the ability to shoot, I'll just advance on it hard in the next turn. In fact, may as well go more and more. This thing has a slightly faster movement, so that'll still put it on target. So that on a future turn, we can just kind of veer in and start employing our medium lasers on it if it decides that it still doesn't want to engage us. Phoenix Hawk is kind of fucking himself over. Good job, idiot. He manages to avoid taking damage, but, he's just kind of wrecking himself. We're taking a bunch of just absolutely savage attacks on this guy's asshole. Over here, mostly what I want you here for are the kicks. The shots that you do on his side aren't going to be as potentially effective as the ones that we're doing to just kind of core out his center. And mostly I want those shots on him, less to actually destroy him, but to potentially put crits on, like, his gyro. So you might be better served just employing your medium lasers to see if you can't take out this Prowler. Solve another one of our problems. Don't use your SRMs. Feel free to use your LRMs, though, even though it's kind of close. I want your kicks. Centurion over here. Large laser downrange on that Hetzer. LRM-10 downrange on that Hetzer. At a 50% chance, one of those should hit. And following up that are some more 58% chances. So one of these should hit the Hetzer in the side. He's been rolling kind of lucky, but his luck can't hold out forever. Can we toss out an extra thing that would matter if we twist a little? If we twist a little? Just a little? If we twist a little and keep those on target, would your medium laser have a chance to hit? It would. We wouldn't get too much heat from it, and especially not if we just use your SRM again. So yeah, go ahead. So, damage coming in. Phoenix Hawk misses both of its shots. I don't even know how it managed to get those. I guess it does still have its arm functioning, so it can kind of prop itself up and take shots, but fortunately they're fucked shots. So I need to remember that he is actually still an active shooter. Prowler takes shots at my Crusader, kind of expected that, and is scoring some, removing armor all around. Let's see, the enemy Crusader did take shots on my Crusader, as I expected, but missed with a fair number of them. Dice working in my advantage this time. Grasshopper manages to get that rear torso shot that burns through. Unfortunately, no gyro hit like I wanted, but it was on right torso, so that couldn't have. And then, well, a hit to the right leg is good. And then an extra medium laser just to soften up his back is fine. Our Crusader was taking shots at the Prowler. Manages to reduce its movement by another 1 point, and put a critical hit on its turret that destroys the stabilizer. So now, its turret is going to have a lot of trouble actually firing on target. Which most of its weapons are in its turret, so excellent, excellent. Our Centurion hits the Hetzer in his left side, boiling off some more of its armor. Doesn't hit the LRM-10. My Dervish procs a crit on the left side, but doesn't go through, but does nastily strip that guy down to 2 armor on his left side. So once again, any shot on his front or left is going to knock him the fuck out. I don't know how he's going to react to that. I do know how this Crusader is going to react, however, to getting his pants kicked off. So, our Grasshopper kicks the Crusader, crunch to his left leg, crunch to his right leg. Unfortunately, they both took a separate leg. If they had both picked the same leg, he would be legless. But with those legs kicked, he took 20 damage and was kicked twice, and so he failed one of these rolls, fell over on his side, and takes a little bit of a bump. Now, he's not out of the fight, but that is pretty hilarious, and it's going to restrict his movement next turn. The Stinger gets to move after my Crusader, but otherwise, show me your move, you Lyran dogs. Hetzer kind of just threw it in park. That's an interesting move by the Hetzer. The Crusader backed up. That's still well within range of my Grasshopper, though. Phoenix Hawk looks like he actually managed to stand up on one leg. I'm impressed, kid. So I guess I just have to kick the other one. So how do I respond to this kind of fuckery? I could chase down the Javelin. He's got exposed legs at this point. But because he's got significant internals, he still would need a solid hit on either of these to actually take him the fuck out. A more solid hit than I've got with either of my kicks. So while I could go for another double kick, I would be putting myself in a position where he could kick back, and that's no bueno. Now my jump jetting can get me out of there kinda. My jump jet here would be able to put me in position to kick this Crusader in the fanny again. But since I've got a guy who's being a smartass, I think my best move here is to kind of duck behind this building again. I can twist a little and prevent myself from taking more penalty in order to be able to savage this Phoenix Hawk again, and maybe just put him down for good. These guys in standing up on unlikely rolls, they've been kind of impressing me recently. And by impressing me, I mean pissing me off. The Grasshopper, we want to pretty much finalize this Phoenix Hawk. To do that best, I think a quick jump over here with a turn around so that we can see this guy's leg. We can then take our pick between firing on the Prowler in its butt and finishing it off, firing into the Phoenix Hawk and finishing it off, and then whichever one we, or just firing into this Crusader's butt and hopefully doing more damage there. And whichever one we pick, we can kick one of these. Dervish over here. Most of these guys are still medium weapons. This Harasser does have an LRM-10, but I can't panic about those too much because, you know, they can hit me anywhere no matter what. So the Hetzer denied himself his shot as long as I kind of approach on this vector. The Spider has shots pretty much anywhere in this field because of torso twisting. Can't really avoid the Spider, but I don't feel much need to be particularly scared of it. There's a lot of enemy vehicles piled up over here, so if I close in hard, I could still be setting myself up for some tears. Instead, in this band is once again going to be where most of the enemies won't be able to land anything significant, and I could still land some stuff of my own. So if I just kind of position myself here, Hetzer can't get me, that Harasser can, but, you know, whatever. And most of these guys who are packing mediums can't get me. And I can still get my LRMs on target. So let's take that position. Doing lots of good work with the LRMs this time. I'm really respecting the work that the Dervish can do with those. And we're just going to embed in the trees and kind of do the same thing. Take long-range pot shots. Impressive, kid. Not going to lie, I am impressed. So, shots, shots, shots. The Crusader can take shots on this guy. Let's see what kind of condition he's in after he's been flopping over himself a bit. His head got punched. He's pretty strongly armored still on his leg, but his right arm is exposed, his left arm is exposed, and his torso has taken some significant damage. His center torso is still pretty heavily armored, which is pretty ideal. That makes it a lot more likely I'll take him home as salvage. The damage on this Crusader has mostly only been on his butt, so any additional that I put on that isn't going to be too impressive. And this Prowler, it's just all going to be about crits rather than any kind of significant follow-up. Since I'm not kicking this turn, one thing I can definitely do with this Crusader is give him a razzle-dazzle of medium SRM SRM. Can I not? Oh, the building's in the way. Oh, folly. Oh, folly. How tough is this building? CF-18? 2 SRMs could punch through that. It's not like I'm relying on it for blocking anything. On the other hand, LRM-10, just not terribly likely. We're going to be a little unprofessional this time. Going to be a little unprofessional. It happens sometimes. Just to try to give us some more opportunities in the future. You know, we're preparing for the future. Should I take the... Yeah, preparing for the future. Nah. No good reason to. Now, couldn't take a lot of good stuff to help finalize that Phoenix Hawk because of that, but he just doesn't need a lot of finalizing. A good kick to his legs, well, okay, quick recheck, 10, 11, 21. A single kick will not knock that leg out. We actually do need to put a bit of hurt on him, but if I put too much hurt on him, he'll explode. Honestly, we should stop being so damn greedy and just finalize this before disaster strikes. We've had so much problem with disaster because of greed in the past. Learn from our mistakes. Learn, learn, you mongoloid, and just land shots on target. Take one guy at a time the fuck out. Over here, we are we're in an interesting position. We could take very long medium shots at this harasser, but I think our primary target is still trying to take out that Hetzer that we've softened up so much. He's still presenting his weakened side to us, and we've got some excellent shots because he stayed still. Now, we could take some secondaries on that harasser or on that spider. The harasser is the one that moved slower of the two. If we take those secondaries, we'll be overheating, though. And really, I don't care to. How about the Centurion, though? Centurion's got large laser on the Hetzer and LRM-10, and then has a spare medium laser that it can also throw on this harasser. Not likely to hit, but we lose nothing by firing it. So off it goes. So how do we do? Vedet fires at my Centurion and misses. Enemy Crusader firing at my Crusader and scores a little bit of extra damage on my right arm. That right arm is getting a little soft. I'm not a fan of that. Spider taking shots at my Centurion at extreme range. I anticipated that, but it doesn't come to anything. Prowler takes a shot at my Crusader, but hits the... Still mad about that. But, okay, so... Zaps the building that's in the way. That building is going to be even more likely to collapse if that's the one I think it is. But it does get another through armor critical. I am so tired of seeing those. Seriously, those only happen on a roll of 2 against the center torso. Well, okay, on a roll of 2, just in general. But once again, that's just as unlikely as a 12. How many headshots have you seen us do? Like, okay, a fair number. But how many critical through armor criticals have you seen? Those shots are exactly as likely. Exactly as likely on mechs. 2 and 12 are exactly the same chance. So why the fuck do I keep getting them? Jesus. LRM-10, it didn't do anything, so thank goodness. But LRM-10 at me also put some damage on me, but then it's blocked again. Cool. Enemy Phoenix Hawk taking shots at my Grasshopper manages to only strike me with the machine gun. Harasser missile platform at my Centurion misses. Our Crusader starts doing work against the Phoenix Hawk. Zaps it, well, actually no, didn't do anything against the Phoenix Hawk because of that building in the way. But then we destroyed that building, so fuck you, building. My Grasshopper is the one doing damage to the Phoenix Hawk. Zapping him in the left torso, left torso is destroyed. Zapping him in right arm, or left torso damage. Right arm, now the left torso is destroyed. His left arm is blown off. If we knock him back down, then he's going to not be able to get back up, so he'll be finalized. Then we pop him a couple more times. We pop him in the left leg. He doesn't have a left leg, so the damage just transfers through. Then we pop him in the left leg again. So he's getting a little weak on all sides. The Dervish finally manages to destroy that Hetzer. Popping some a LRM-10 in, which does some significant damage to the AC-20 and then destroys it. Good work, good work. That Hetzer is down. And this Phoenix Hawk then falls over. He doesn't have a leg, he doesn't have an arm, he can't get back up because he's missing the basic things you need to get up, so he should be abandoning his mech. So that's one more down. I don't need to kick it anymore, so instead I can put this up the Prowler's tailpipe. Thump. Kicked it right in the turret. Its turret is weak. Alright, so how are we doing on heat? Excellent, but how are we doing on actually taking out enemies? We needed to take out at this point 8 because they got reinforcements. How far have we come? Well, when that Phoenix Hawk is abandoned, we have, wow, all of them jumped to come after my Crusader. Jesus. Well, I ain't playing that game, fuckos. But, okay. Um, just making sure of something. Okay, the Crusader's still here. Underneath the Crusader is a Phoenix Hawk. We've got the Phoenix Hawk we've got the Phoenix Hawk, we've got this Stinger and this Javelin that we took out. That's 3. 4, 5. We need to take out, Jesus, 3 more. We've got the Crusader kind of on the ropes. I kind of need to get into a position where I won't be seen by a bunch of enemies, which is kind of hard. Well, actually, this means only the Stinger and the Spider can see me. And then I can turn like so. And, you know, that's from this square, not from this hex. Turn like so in order to put more shots on me. My right side is kind of weak, but my left side is still looking pretty good. So if I point my left side to them, which is what I'm doing, yes, should make it hard for them to finalize much, you know, to put any nasty shots on me. I could, unfortunately, the only other option I would have to try to avoid them would be to duck like this, and that would reveal my back to the Crusader here, and I'm just not a fan of doing that. Huh, this harasser is asking for it. I could also just try to... Mm, no. Safest option is really just going to be to turn like this. We'll take a couple shots from the Stinger and the Spider, but it shouldn't be too bad. Alternatively to doing that, we could walk a little further, and then only the Spider can see me. And then I can turn, and I've walked 3, so that's at least an extra -1, and I've put more distance between me and their guns. So that's actually a little wiser. All the AC-20s I was frightened about are now gone. Yeah, most of their guys just can't see shit. Are now gone. I'm super happy about that. This harasser has provided me with an unusual opportunity, which I shan't deny. I mean, if he wants to get kicked, he can get kicked. That's totally on him. My grasshopper, if I move here, he can be seen by a lot of these guys, but I mean, most of these guys have like medium lasers. Let's see here. Just double checking, but yeah, mostly machine guns and one medium laser, one medium laser, one medium laser. I'd be looking at 3 mediums coming in, which I'm just not super scared about. And they'd be coming in at like at closest medium range. In fact, I think all of these guys would be at medium range. If I do a little razzle dazzle like that, it doesn't actually matter. So I could just do like this and not put penalties on myself, or I can accept that my penalties are super cool. Can I do like, no, I can't go absolutely horse crazy. Can I? Hang on. No, can't go absolutely horse crazy. Uh, so I can just jump like this. Makes me a little harder to hit. Gets me on the rear arc on, I'm pretty sure on that Crusader. It's kind of hard to see. Can I, is there a way to, I think that both of them are pointing upwards because they were pointing at where my Crusader used to be. Those fools. So if I jump like this, makes my shots a little more difficult for me, makes it a little more difficult for them. and I like the fact that it's a little more difficult for them. My Centurion can come right up behind this harasser, and I mean, you know, Christmas comes early. Yep, guy ejected, crashed into a building, but he's still alive, so I guess that counts as safely. We're twisting, and now the real question is, who am I taking shots on? The Crusader, I could put some more stripping on, but really wouldn't finalize anything. The Spider down here, I could put some LRM shots on, not super accurate ones though. Or I could just take shots on this Prowler and try to finalize it. I think the Prowler's going to be my best shot because now... Oh, right, legs. I needed to twist just a little more. Well, I can put the medium lasers on him. I can put some kind of unlikely LRMs on him. So, may as well. And these absolutely would not hit, so. However, we've already got our best men on the case. Popping some medium laser and some SRM2, finally getting those in action significantly. Overheats us a little. We could also take an extra shot that would overheat us by 5 and would still be pretty likely to hit even with the secondary penalty. It's pretty unnecessary, but it doesn't hurt us anything. That could potentially do something, as could these. I think just because of how accurate the shot is, yeah, we won't do much with the Crusader, but against the Prowler, there's always a chance that we could crit pop it. So we'll go ahead and take that shot. Build up to 15. I don't want to build up to 19. That would potentially put me in some trouble next turn if I need to maneuver or shoot. So I'll accept 5 over. Over here, I really don't know if I want to use the large laser into the rear of this Crusader because weakened up as it is, I'd like to take it home. That said, no large laser shot would destroy it outright unless I hit ammo bins. And that would just happen pretty much regardless. So may as well take all of my delightful razzle-dazzle against this guy's rear. Zip, zap, zoop, zup, zoop. The Centurion is also helping out with this harasser, putting a frame, an extra little frame, and even with the medium, you also have a pretty good shot, so may as well help out. Foosh. Butt laser does nothing. So how do we do? VDET hits my Centurion in the leg, but my Centurion has been pretty unscathed, so it's in a good position. Stinger fires at my Grasshopper, a hard shot and misses, because thank goodness we jumped. Although it would have missed on that anyway. Prowler comes after my Crusader, misses twice. Spider comes after my Crusader, misses twice. Stinger comes after my Grasshopper, misses. Stinger finally manages to land the shot, but it's only one medium laser. Harasser comes after my Crusader, pop, pop. My enemy Crusader hits my Crusader with a medium laser and unfortunately hits me right in that weak right side, so I start taking some internal structure, but the arm is still there, so I'm still good. My Crusader takes shots at that Prowler, gets a through armor critical, but doesn't finish it up. Through armor criticals on vehicles, much, much more likely. Like, there's like 4 spots on it. I actually don't have the chart right here. Tell you what, I'll make sure to bring that up. But much more likely on vehicles, especially side shots. Does a little extra motive system damage, but nothing significant. Big thing that we do is that we are peeling armor off of its left side and turret. It's got very little remaining. Dervish misses its medium lasers at the harasser, hits with one of its SRM2s, and in fact one of its SRM2s hits a fan, so it's at half movement. My grasshopper zaps into internal structure on the left leg, perfect. On the right torso, eh. On the left leg, which blows the left leg off, hilarious. This very unlikely critical. It's a 12. This is that 2% chance coming on my benefit. We hit the left leg in its critical. We blew it off. That's a clean blow off. We can probably reattach that in our own mech bay. So, in fact, that's just handing it to us. Now, things not done yet. It's still got both of its arms, so it's still a problem. It's still a pain in my ass, but it's in a position that I can kind of finish it off at my leisure. Centurion, taking shots at the harasser, manages to hit it better. Half movement again, stunning the crew. Half movement again. This thing has had half movement so many times, I don't know how much movement it has left. And the Crusader has had its leg destroyed, automatically falls, takes some damage, just barely holds on to consciousness. And now this stunned asshole is going to get a fist up his ass. Oh, should we take the kicks on the Crusader? I need to take a quick look at it. So the Crusader's pretty fucked up. In fact, it's missing over half of its weapons. So its pilot should abandon it because he can't get it back up. He can't retreat with it. If I kick it, though, with my massive 14 damage foot, if I kick it in the right torso is gone. If I kick it in the left torso's still there. If I kick it in the center torso's still there. But I could easily put my foot through any one of those various explosives it's carrying. I'm going to take the risk on him knowing better than to stand up with his mech already fucked up this much, and instead put my foot into the Prowler and try to finish it off. And over here, unlikely, but we've got good piloting. We should be able to recover from it if we miss. So, Dervish puts his foot through the harasser and destroys it. Excellent work. Grasshopper puts his foot through the butt of this Prowler and destroys it. I was just bragging on you. Just bragging on you. Well, falls over, embarrasses herself, manages to avoid damage at least, so good work there. You had your seatbelt in, you were braced. So now it's kind of on the enemy for how much forces they actually have left on the field. A lot of it they have in terms of vehicles that have just kind of been cowering behind a building. So we'll see how much they have left after they move. Okay, so the Crusader is down. It did not move, it could not stand up. We have eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies. 7 enemies. One more is needed. I get the feeling that these stingers are coming in to kind of pick on my weakened heavies, because they do have some exposed spots all around, and I'm not a fan of that. This Crusader's down on the ground, and if he can't get back up by the time the match is over, he's pretty much out. I mean, he doesn't have a leg, he can't escape. If we own the battlefield, he's got to abandon it or be taken prisoner. That's just pretty much the rules. So what I can do to just kind of force that, okay, first off, you need to get up and stop embarrassing yourself. One thing I want to check real quick is the medium laser range on these guys. They've got a lot of medium lasers, so if I kind of err on the side of moving over here, I should be able to take pot shots at this Skulker or Vidette and help finalize those. You guys just hid in a corner. You Lyrans are cowards. Anyway, so if we move kind of over here-ish, we should be able to get our LRMs and long-range laser, if we can move kind of over here-ish, onto that Vidette at not great range, but at acceptable range. And in fact, we can do it. No, I don't want to do it like that. Too many potential for. Well, no, I just proved I'm outside of these guys' short range at this position. So we can do like that with torso twist. We hit the Vidette or the Skulker with a, or the Vidette specifically with an on-band LRM shot. Works for me. Make it happen. You need a 5. Good work. Good work. Way to show up all of those Lyran chumps who can't make a fucking 5. You've got much better maneuverability. I could dedicate you to trying to engage all of these guys and see if you could take another one of them home. But I don't know. They just put out a lot of fire, and I don't know if I want to rush you up into it considering how many explosives you've got in your chest. Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with that, I'm afraid. So instead, I'm going to keep doing with you what I've been doing, because it's really sort of worked for me. And keep you pumping LRMs out. Can't really get you into an ideal position. Unless, I guess we just back up 1. Hey, we can actually buck you up into the forest, or we can leave you at a perfect band. It's kind of a toss-up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, I want to back you up into the forest. Just don't take damage we don't have to, you know? Speaking of backing up, we're just kind of... Well, okay, hang on. Don't be a total coward. If we back up like this, if we back up like that, we're pretty easy to hit. And we can't really rush about in a way that makes me any harder to hit. But if we back up like this, we're easy to hit, but we're easy to hit on our... That's still our left, right? Still our left? Still our left where most of our armor is? Still our left where most of our armor is. Left, left. We're behind them, so only 2 of them, the Locust and this Stinger, have good shots at me. That's 3 medium lasers between them and 2 machine guns. And we can take a kick at this Stinger's legs, and if we kick a Stinger's legs, he's out of legs. I'll take it. My Grasshopper, it says that he's in yellow, but is actually doing pretty well in his armor, except for the fact that he's taken a disproportionate number of shots to center torso. That said, because of his incredible jumping prowess, what he can do is jump like this to expose his back to this Stinger. His back can actually take a lot more damage, can take a fair amount of damage. Only thing we're slightly worried about is that leg, and I don't think they got enough damage between them to really significantly hinder that. So we could take kicks at this Stinger as well. In fact, we could just turn about this way and be able to do that and maybe target that other Stinger while we're at it. You know, multitask. Prowler's ejecting. Our Centurion gets up. The Crusader didn't even bother. That Crusader can actually still take shots at me. I forgot about that. Well, too late now. We were taking shots on this Centurion. That was our target for our bottom crew here. We can get the medium laser on target, so may as well. And finish off with an LRM-10 that's pretty spot on. Over here, we've got a bit of heat buildup, unfortunately. The two LRM-10s will still leave us at 4, which I'm okay with. So let's just leave it at that. Over here, we could take shots at this guy, but we're going to kick his leg out, so it's not really necessary. We could take shots at this locust and try to finish him off with fire, or we can take shots at this crusader because it is still an active threat unless we can take out one of its arms. Choices, choices. Should have left that building intact. It would have blocked the crusader. I think, just for finalizing this encounter, the spider is more likely to go down than the crusader at this point. So if we use medium laser on him, don't use the SRMs because we're planning on kicking. Not going to hit with the LRMs. Could instead spend the LRMs on this VDET from a different angle, and we've got the heat for it, so may as well. Foosh foosh. Not using SRMs. Over here, we can put more shots on that locust. We can put all of our damn shots on that locust. Ha 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 ha. That's 3 over. I could go 4 over, or go 5 over, which I'd be penalty to movement, but that's not a real huge deal to me. But the shots that I'd be taking with it are not great, so no reason to. So how do we do? Stinger shoots my grasshopper, takes damage to my left arm, but it holds. Stinger shoots my crusader, shots to the right torso. Both shots to the right torso. Okay, that right torso is getting a little more sensitive than I was anticipating. Vidette takes shots at my crusader, hits its center torso. Crusader's got plenty of armor there. Stinger takes shots at my grasshopper and misses all of them. Enemy crusader. Ah, damn it. Stop rolling 12s and 2s, you fuckos. Hits me in the head with a medium laser. I take 1 damage but stay conscious. But just stop it. Stop not dying. Huh. Spider fires at my crusader, hits in the leg. My centurion gets an LRM-10 in the perfect place. He's taken the lessons from Captain Kobe, rolled that 12, fuel tank explodes. Ooh, fuel tank explodes, doesn't leave anything left to salvage, because the whole damn thing goes up. Kaboom. LRM-10 puts some more damage on that VDET that doesn't exist anymore. Good shot, Twinkle Toes. I think that's in the Centurion, pretty sure. Crusader zaps the spider once, misses with the other laser, but strips all the armor off of it, and then puts more shots on that VDET that doesn't exist anymore. My grasshopper goes into internal structure on the left torso, misses, hits it in the left leg, good, that's a sensitive spot, then misses twice. It's unfortunate. We took more than 20 damage on the Crusader, Jesus, just because of focus fire. But managed to remain standing so we could do the most important thing, kicking this guy and this guy right in the junk. Aww. Come on. Come on, Dizzy. You're good at this. Oh well, he managed to stay standing barely. Dizzy's getting a bit dizzy. But we did cap the leg on another one of these stingers, so that's 1 more mech that's down for the count. Left kind of wiggling on the field. And, come to think of it, we destroyed that vehicle. Shit, was that all I needed? Yes, I just needed 1 more. So that actually would be /victory. Which actually I think is going to declare it like right now. Yep, that's it. All right, so things that went well in that match. We kept our mediums at long range so that the bulk of the enemy forces couldn't peck at them hard. Uh, we used those LRMs that they had to excellent use, stripping away and dealing damage and looking for crits in vehicles to finally take them out of action. We managed to use the maneuverability of that grasshopper to excellent effect to just run around and kick people in the junk. We managed to use lots of damage from the Crusader to strip a bunch of armor and make people sensitive, but also just kind of kick people in the junk. So all in all, things went pretty excellent on that one, and we get to take home a lot of salvage. We got a lot of damage to repair, but nothing that's too essential. That one was pretty good. Hopefully the next one will be just as good. See you guys later.